Lack of respect and recognition. Teachers frequently report feeling undervalued by society, parents, and even school administrators.
Someone was asking me about the cons of teaching. So, why is everyone leaving teaching? So, these are the things that I have identified as being the biggest problems at the moment with teaching. The first thing is job security. It is so hard to get a permanent job in education. There are so many people leaving the profession, but all of the jobs that are advertised seem to be short contracts or just working for, say, a term or things like that. It's really hard to get a permanent, ongoing position, and that means that you don't have much job security. Second thing is that being a teacher is really emotionally draining. You have so many kids in your classroom. So if you're a classroom teacher, you're pretty much responsible for 30 kids, all with different personalities, all with different abilities, with different parents, with different home lives. So you'll have a lesson, one kid's getting it, another kid's over here crying over something, another kid's going through something difficult. You have kids that think it's too easy, too hard. There's so many things going on. There's behavior problems. So you're constantly juggling and being responsible for all of these different personalities and different situations, and it's relentless. So it's never ending. And a lot of the time, teachers take those things home. So if you know that one of your kiddos is having a really difficult time at home, or they're being bullied or something like that, you're constantly thinking about those children, and it can become really emotionally taxing. The other thing that teachers are talking a lot about at the moment is admin. Teachers do so much admin. When you're at school, I remember just thinking teachers just drink coffee and they don't really do much. But you don't see all of the behind the scenes thing, the amount of marking that you have to do, the planning, the data that you have to constantly collect, the meetings that are scheduled all the time through your lunch breaks, after school, before school. It just constantly keeps mounting up, and it seems to be getting more and more every single year. The tasks that we're getting asked to do just keep compounding. And I'd say lastly is just the lack of respect for educators. We're constantly talked down to in the media. People constantly think that we're whingers, that we should be grateful that we get all of the holidays and all of these different things. So sometimes with parents, they talk down to us and they can be quite passive aggressive with us. We get pressure from admin to constantly be pushing the kids along. Parents want their kid to be the smartest and have the most attention. So there's just a lot of pressure constantly from a lot of different people, and there really is a lack of respect in education.
Negative public perceptions and the politicization of education have eroded the respect traditionally afforded to educators.
I have to speak to, as a teacher of 24 years, this being my last year, I'm retiring. I'm done. And I'm done because of one word: parents. And I am going to speak for teachers who can't speak because they're still in the profession. Education has changed so much that it is unbearable. And that's why there's a teacher shortage. I have seen education change in 24 years, and it hasn't changed for the better. And a lot of it has to do with parenting or lack thereof. Parents, when you send your child to school, they need pens, they need pencils. If they don't have them, please ask me or ask the school. Parents, when you send your children to school, yes, they do need their books. Yes, they do need a notebook. If they do not have any of those things, please ask your teacher or please ask the school. Bottom line is this: teachers are not just teachers. The amount of time that I spend teaching is, let's see, if I'm lucky, maybe 20 minutes within a class period. There's so much other stuff going on every minute, every second of the class period. It starts off as soon as the kids come in the room. There's always self-regulation that I have to do. There's always redirection that I have to do. There's always repeating the same information, even though it's written on the overhead, even though it's clearly spelled as clear as it can be in the written language. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And even after I ask for clarifying questions, which I don't get any, There are kids who are constantly coming in late, which disrupts the classroom. The phone is ringing because a child needs to go to see the counselor because they are dealing with whatever issues. I get that, and I understand it happens. There are interruptions because a child is leaving because the parents are taking the child out of school to go somewhere. There are interruptions in the day because I have to fill out an independent contract for a child who's going away for a month to Italy or to India. So that means I have to make special lesson plans for that child, which they don't do, by the way. There are interruptions when you have the counselors coming into the classroom and asking to take out a certain student. There are interruptions in the classroom because there are so many students with special needs, and again, I am not faulting them for that. All I'm telling you is that a lot of extra energy goes into students who have special needs, and I'm the only person in the room. There isn't a teacher's aide. There isn't another special ed person in here with me, and I have 33 to 34 students. The interruptions are insurmountable. So trying to teach is virtually impossible. We as teachers have become babysitters, and all we do is we're putting out fires every 2 to 3 minutes, and that's not an over-exaggeration. That is the truth. So, that and many other reasons, I'm retiring after 24 years. I have had it. I can no longer deal with the new type of parent and the new type of child that is a product of the parent that I am trying to teach. Many of these kids do not care. And they don't care because their parents don't care. And if their parents care, then I guess I would see kids that care. But I don't. So teaching has become a dying profession. I, for one, have 24 years of experience. And I am leaving. I plan to stay for another, 10 years. Not doing it anymore. Nope. So another experienced teacher bites the dust.
Student behavioral issues. Post-pandemic, many students exhibit higher levels of anxiety, aggression, and apathy, making classroom management increasingly challenging. Teachers often feel unequipped or unsupported in addressing these behavioral challenges effectively.
When I was considering leaving teaching, I was concerned about giving up my summers, spring break, every other break that we get, losing the pride that I have in being a teacher, the positive comments that people make when I tell them that I'm a teacher. I was really worried that I would regret leaving purposeful work and that I wouldn't feel purpose in any other job. And this morning on my way to Starbucks at 7:45, I had a really fantastic moment. There was a school bus driving by me and I started thinking about school and how if I was still teaching, I would already be at school, probably counting down the days until our next break, trying to field an angry parent email and trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with the kid in class that is just being super disrespectful to me and every other student. But I don't have to deal with any of that anymore. I haven't felt this good since college because I no longer have to deal with all of the stressors that come with being a teacher. My heart rate has never been lower. My sleep has never been better. And it's been years since I felt this social and joyful. Because I'm not depleting my emotional energy every day, I can be absolutely present with my son. Because I don't have to deal with the all-encompassing exhaustion that comes with teaching. I don't count down the days until the weekend or my next vacation. Now that's liberating. No summer break, amount of pride, or compliment is worth this peace and joy. And as for purposeful work, I don't think any work that you do can be purposeful if the life is being sucked out of you. So here I am on my way to my first meeting at one of my new jobs, feeling energized, hopeful, happy, peaceful, calm, grounded, connected with the earth, thriving in my relationships. I'm so glad I made that decision. Teaching was meant for me for a time in my life. I made tangible impacts for that time of my life. But that time in my life is no more, so I had to move on, and I'm so glad I did.